Hey everyone, this is Dean with DCA Crypto. Got your weekly crypto YouTuber update. So I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, smash that like button, and let's jump into it. Alright, this week's edition of your weekly crypto YouTuber update. I got 4 videos for you guys that I think you should take a look at. Have some good information for you guys in these videos, so let's jump into it. Alright, so the first video here is by No BS Crypto. Kyron's got some really good information in here. He's got 5 tips in this video, pretty much for anyone out there in crypto. Some really useful information. Play a little bit of this video, give you my, my opinion on it, and then we'll jump into the next one.
My fellow crypto investors, whether you're old, young, or you're someone who identifies as a cat or a dog, it really doesn't matter at this point. Whoever you are, wherever you're watching this from, now is the perfect time to take advantage of where we are in the market. Now, I've got 5 things today. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5. Like, I'm talking extremely important things I want you to remember. Now, I'm making this video for everyone. There's going to be tips in here for people who are fresh, right off the printing press, brand new crypto beginner, right to someone who's more experienced. And these are things that, 1, we should touch up on from time to time, and 2, we should look to do straight away to optimize not just your safety in the market, but your overall success and gains. That's my ultimate thing in crypto, guys, is how do I make the most amount of money in the safest way? Now, here's going to be 5 of those tips. But first of all, I want to say, for all of you people out there saying, Kyron, what bull run? What bull run? The bull run's over. Well, first of all, I want to say, in any circumstance, you want to prepare for both. If you're not prepared for a bull run and you're prepared for a bear market, okay, well, what happens if we go bull market and not bear market? You're going to be screwed. So pay attention. All right, now, this is one of Plan B's many different charts. This is the 200-week moving average chart, so it's fairly viable. This isn't his stock to flow model. And we can see here that we are 4x right now up from the lows back in about 2022, 2023. Now, we've printed 4 red dots, which after we print 4 red dots, these red dots, by the way, represent the months after the Bitcoin halving. So we go from red, from max, months to the halving, to blue, which is right on the halving. We're 4x up. So things are moving on track. We're not ahead of ourselves. We're not underperforming. We're literally right on track. And I don't know if you can see from this chart here, but typically after these initial 4 red dots, things start going up. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, look, the next dot that comes on this screen should be a good dot. Like, that's not very good analysis. But again, this is one of the many things that I'm looking at right now to prove we are on track. I've made many videos recently talking about like 5 or 6 different indicators that prove this. So I'm not going to repeat those in this video, but more, I guess, fundamental analysis proves that we are still on track, guys. Right, Goldman Sachs, these guys are buying a crap load of Bitcoin via the ETFs for their institutional clients. We also have MicroStrategy still, Michael Saylor himself, buying Bitcoin. I mean, this guy will buy Bitcoin even if Bitcoin fell back down to $1. But still, it is good to know that there is, of course, that large-scale interest as well, of course.
All right, so I'm not going to play any more of that video. You guys can take a look at this. I'll leave the links for these in the description of the video below. So he's got some good information in here, and I like that chart from Plan B. It does have some, useful information in there that we are still on track, just like every other crypto cycle before, even though we've hit a new all-time high with Bitcoin from the previous bull run early, we're still on track according to that chart and according to several other charts that we are still on track for this bull run. And until we, see something otherwise, I'm going to think that we're still getting a bull run and we're still on track for that. There is always a chance that we don't get the bull run, but so far, everything is pointing in the direction that we do get that bull run coming up here later this year, and that we haven't even seen the beginning of it yet. So hopefully, cross our fingers, hopefully that is the case, because I could really use some gains in my portfolio right now. It's hurting pretty bad, and I'm sure the rest of you out there as well who are in altcoins have been feeling a lot of pain in the market over the last few months, especially if you're in a lot of gaming and artificial intelligence coins. But, it is what it is. I'm ready. I've been buying the dip. I've been putting more into my portfolio as I get extra funds. Haven't had any extra funds recently, but I think a few weeks ago was the last time I bought the dip, but hopefully in the next few weeks here I'll be able to put some more money in if the prices are still in a great buying zone, which I think they will be probably into September and possibly the beginning of October. We'll have to see how this plays out here. So we'll jump into the next video here. This is by Peter with House of Crypto. It's got some good information in here. He says, in here, the exact dates crypto will explode. So I'll play a little bit of this and let you guys see this, and then I'll give you my thoughts on it quick.
I know exactly why crypto has just started pumping in the last 24 hours. And in this video, I'm going to explain 2 other dates that are coming up in the next few weeks that you need to pay attention to, because they're going to cause astronomically big pumps across the crypto industry. This is an incredibly time-sensitive video. I'm also going to talk about things that are happening and little worries I have, because there's huge opportunities every single day coming up, and I think many of you might miss them if you don't know this.
All right, so I'll let you guys watch this video here. He's got some important dates that are coming up, which I've referenced in my videos recently as well, at least one of them. One of them is the Fed rate cut. The other one is the, I guess, the indicator that the Fed rate cut is going to happen is another one that he's talking about, I believe. But there's some other good information in this video as well. I think you guys should take a look at that. And, it really helps to get your information from other sources, not just me. So that's why I do these videos, so you guys can get kind of a rounded thought process of what's going on in crypto from other influencers out there, not just one or two. So the next video here is by Alesio Rani. I'm not sure if I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I watch his videos. I think they're very useful. He is mostly on the stock market, but he covers a lot of Bitcoin as well, some XRP and stuff. But he does a lot of Bitcoin videos, and he talks about in this video the most dangerous time for the stock market is coming in 2024. And what he's talking about in this video is the Fed pivoting, and pivoting from, increasing rates to lowering interest rates. And usually when that pivot happens, we get a big crash in the market, is what he's saying in this video. I want to play a little bit of this, show you a little bit of what he's got to say. And then I'm going to give you my thoughts on it, because I don't necessarily agree with what he's going to say in this video.
Hey guys, Alesio, hope you're well. Do you recall this chart that I showed you over a year ago about the actions of the Federal Reserve and interest rates and its impact on the stock markets? So in this video, I want to take a look one more time at this particular chart and what it means for the stock markets in 2024. All right, guys, join me. Hey guys, welcome back. So as you can probably guess, I'm making this video from Palm Coast, Florida, in the United States. Anyway, I want to talk to you about the stock markets. Now, in this particular video, I want to revisit this important chart that I showed you over a year ago in December of 2022. And I want to explain to you what this chart potentially means for 2024, especially for the stock markets. And by the way, as you know, what happens in the stock markets can also impact Bitcoin and crypto as well. So back in December of 2022, I warned that a lot of people were mistaken in thinking that because the Federal Reserve was raising rates back then, so back in late 2022, the Federal Reserve was raising rates aggressively. In fact, they continued to raise rates aggressively from 2022 to 2023. Now here's something interesting. You may recall that in December of 2022, in a video I made back then, I warned that just because the Federal Reserve was increasing rates, that is not necessarily a negative or a bad thing for the stock markets. In fact, I said back then, in December of 2022, that the stock markets could go higher despite the Federal Reserve raising rates.
The first objection people had was, well, how can you say the market can have a rally when the Federal Reserve is raising rates? There's a very simple answer to that. First of all, you can see in the last several months of this year, we've had several big rallies. For example, in the spring of this year, the stock markets, the S&P went up 12% despite the Federal Reserve raising rates. In August, from June to August of this year, the stock markets rallied by just close to 20%. That was despite the Fed raising rates.
By the way, I think the stock market will rally ahead before the Fed pivot occurs. Again, just to repeat this point, I think the stock markets will probably rally in expectation of a Fed pivot by next year in 2023. But when the Fed pivot occurs, that's going to be too late. By the way, a lot of people were in astonishment. They were in disbelief. They could not believe or accept the idea that the stock markets could go up despite the Federal Reserve raising rates. And that is because a lot of people believe this false idea that the markets are rational, that the markets have to make common sense. But as you and I know, and I mentioned this in previous videos, the markets do not make common sense because the markets are not rational. As we know, the markets do not move based on rationality or based on Federal Reserve decisions.
So, he is kind of right. The market has rallied as far as the stock market, even though the Fed has been increasing rates, and we've been continually rallying in the stock market throughout the Fed increasing rates. So we could get a correction on the stock market when they start lowering the interest rates. But he kind of hints in this video that it could affect crypto in the same way. I'm disagreeing with that because history has showed us that crypto does better when the Fed lowers interest rates. And when they started increasing the interest rates is when we had the big crash in crypto, and we went into a bear cycle with it. So as they were increasing the rates on the Fed, we continued to go into a bear cycle with crypto, and I think that we might get a slight correction or a correction in crypto for a short period of time, but then I think the money from the stock market, I think what potentially happens is people start selling their stocks because they're considered safer, and then they start putting that money into crypto and going into riskier assets with that money because they feel more comfortable, and people start borrowing against their houses and stuff like that. People start taking out second mortgages and stuff to invest in riskier assets, because typically once the interest rates start lowering, they can get a better interest rate on their mortgage and on other assets out there, so they feel more comfortable borrowing money and using it for riskier stuff. Is typically what happens, is how I understand it. But I do like watching his videos. They're very informative. He is pretty accurate when it comes to the stock market. Some of his crypto stuff has some pretty accurate stuff as well, especially with the Bitcoin charts. But take a look at Alesio, and I'll leave the link for this video in the description below. So the next video here is by Crypto Crew University. I'm going to play a little bit of this video, and then I'll give you my thoughts on it.
Warning, Bitcoin has just entered quicksand on the legendary Gaussian channel. We've only done this 5 times in history. All 5 of them have ended in an extreme bloodbath of at least 1 year. Take a look. Bitcoin has just entered the quicksand. The previous time we entered quicksand was here, 2023, where we had 460 days of an absolute bloodbath. Time before that, 2019, entered quicksand here, 250 days to recover. Prior time, 2019, entered quicksand here, 400 days of absolute bloodbath. Prior to that, 2015, entered quicksand here, 570 days to recover and finally get out of quicksand.
All right, so he goes into this how the Bitcoin, once it enters the Gaussian channel, he calls it quicksand. It's very difficult for it to get out. But I'm going to disagree with this video and give you my thoughts on it here. Back in 2019, we hit the Gaussian channel here and got into the quicksand, and then we started, rallying. And the only reason we pulled back into the Gaussian channel here and stayed down for so long is because of COVID. I think that we would have been in this quicksand for a little bit here, and then I think we would have broken out here and took off into this bull run and got out of the Gaussian channel. However, COVID hit and it kept us down there. So I don't think this is necessarily so terrible that we're in the Gaussian channel. Back here in 2021 as well, we had this first peak of the bull run. We did dip into the Gaussian channel, but we recovered and made a new all-time high at the end of the year. Even though, we were in that Gaussian channel for a while, we still were on a rally. So we've hit the Gaussian channel again, but that doesn't mean we can't take off into a new all-time high. It's not as terrible as what he's kind of making it out to be in this video, but he does also mention that Bitcoin is making a bull flag right now. It isn't a bull flag, and that bull flag typically means that we continue the prior movement of the cycle, which was where we jumped up in price from 15,000 to 74,000, and that bull flag usually is a continuation move of a bullish move that we should continue on. But he's saying because we touched the Gaussian channel, it's going to be difficult to get out of it potentially. But I'm going to disagree with that. But he does say in here that we're not technically fully in the Gaussian channel yet because we didn't close a candle inside of it yet. We've just touched it, and so far we've stayed a little bit out of it. But, he really kind of hints in this video that it's really a bad thing. I don't necessarily think so, but I think you guys should take a look at this video just so you have another side of the picture here, and you guys can let me know your thoughts of it if you take a look at this video here. So that's pretty much what I got for this video, guys. Hope you enjoy these 4 videos. Take a look at them. I'll leave the links for them in the description below. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the like button. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm, and we'll see you guys on the next video.